Let's see, where's Allison? Give me a thumbs up, Allison, when you think we should rock and roll.
Let's begin.
Okay, great. Um, awesome. Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Dan Gibbs. I've worked with many of you throughout many years, but I'm the executive director of the Colorado Department of Natural Resources, and I want to welcome you all to the Ponderosa Mountain Pine Beetle Task Force. As one of the co-chairs of this task force, I look forward to working with you all on bringing resilience to our forests, our communities, and our way of life in Colorado. Our forests are no strangers to the insects and disease. And as a Summit County resident, it just seems like yesterday, but that me and my community have been living with a lot of the challenges of the bark beetle, mountain pine beetle challenges that we've seen over the last 20 years. So together, we're going to really identify short, medium, and long-term recommendations to be shared with the governor, to be shared with the General Assembly, and other partners. We're planning on collaborating with existing commissions, councils, coalitions, subject matter experts to bring forth complementary approach to support existing programs that are already deep working on these issues. I believe we've assembled a task force that's really up to the challenge to balance conservation, public safety, natural resources, and much more. We know that insect outbreaks will not go away overnight, but I'm confident we can find solutions for sustaining our workforce, our forests, our watersheds for future generations. And before I pass it to one of my co-chairs, I just am so grateful that your willingness to step up in a really important way. This is a real challenge that we have right in front of our eyes, and I'm just again really grateful for your willingness to step up to participate. So with that, let me turn it over to one of our co-chairs, Mike Morgan, who is the head of the Division of Fire Prevention and Control. So Mike, the floor is yours.
Thanks, Dan. I want to echo Dan's comments. Thanks, everybody, for being a part of this. I know we've got a challenge in front of us, but I know this group is up for the task and look forward to working with all of you. Real quick, for me, 30 years in local government and 10 years at state. I'm a Colorado native, so I think we've experienced, as Dan said, we've been experienced the lodgepole pine pandemic. Now we're going into the Ponderosa pine and going into the Ponderosa. We've learned a lot through the issues and the challenges with the lodgepole that I think are going to be tools and lessons to help us as we move forward with the mountain pine beetle into the Ponderosa. I also think it's important that we recognize that the sense of urgency is real. Obviously, the largest population of the in the wildland urban interface is going to be in this next challenge, right? So I think we need to be looking forward to that. I think it's really important too. I want to call out and thank Governor Polis for his leadership in putting this group together and getting it together early on and getting all of us in the same room to start having these conversations so we prepare sooner than later for what we're facing. I think my final comments to this before I kick it over to the other co-chair and Matt McCombs is that um, we as we face this challenge, I hope that we're being holistic and realistic as we face this. We continue to have conversations about insurability and affordability. And while we know that historically hail has been the biggest driver of loss, we know not far behind that wildfire has been a driving impact on that. And so our importance to recognize that holistic and realistic approach to what we need to do is ringing loud and clear in my ears, and I know in the other co-chairs' ears. Speaking of the cohesive strategy, right? I mean, that's what we've all kind of agreed to over the years, that is our path forward. Be bold, be holistic, be realistic. I challenge each and every one of us to have the hard conversations, to be thinking outside of the box, bring the tools and skill set we each own and have that brought us together for this work, but then to learn and expand on the things that are maybe our shady spots that we don't know about. The things, let's be bold and learn things that are new to address this problem holistically. So again, I look forward to working with everybody. I'm really excited for the future and what we can accomplish. And I will kick it over to Director McCombs as the other co-chair.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Matt McCombs. I'm the Director of Colorado State Forest Service, and if you're a resident of our fair state, I have the pleasure of serving as your state forester. Just briefly, I'm not going to repeat what Director Gibbs and Director Morgan referenced. The thing that I think I see everybody in this span of Hollywood squares here. I see all the right people at the table to take on the challenge that's in front of us in a really thoughtful and meaningful way, and respond in a way that leaves Colorado stronger, safer, and our forests more resilient. But I also want to challenge this group from the outset. We have an opportunity to fundamentally change the nature of the culture and the way that we Coloradans engage with our forests. My hope is that we can come out of this effort and the success that we achieve together, really helping Coloradans embrace this idea of forests as infrastructure, number one, and number two, and how we engage with them is going to dictate how we can continue to benefit from them. And so my hope is that beyond just responding just to the challenges that we face, that we also take opportunities to reflect on and embrace our unique and specific roles as stewards of our forests to ensure that the challenges that we have brought together to face down are never manifest again in the way that they are now. So that's a theme that you'll hear me continue to return to, but I'm just incredibly honored and excited to be in relationship and engagement with all of you on this tough but achievable task that's in front of us. And I look forward to each and every one of your individual and unique contributions, perspectives, and expertise that you bring, and ensuring that the State Forest Service brings forward every bit of capacity, innovation, technology, and science that we have to achieve success together as we move forward. So thank you so much.
Great. Thanks so much, Matt. And yeah, really appreciate Mike and Matt's leadership being co-chairs. We've had a lot of different meetings kind of leading up to this meeting too, to make sure we're all on the same page. And we're going to have a special guest join us just in a minute. But until he joins us, John, why don't I turn it? We're really excited to have both
I do.
John and Oh, is the governor here?
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
there we
here.
go. Good. Okay. Great. It's a great honor to have Governor Polis join us for our first meeting, and governors knows extremely well the challenges that we have in front of us, and actually acted so quickly to put together this really important executive order that led to this task force. So, Governor, let me turn it over to you, and we're just so grateful for your leadership on this.
Thank you, Dan. And Colorado, of course, no stranger to pine beetles, major infestation 15, 20 years ago, really transformed the way Grand County, other mountain area counties looked. This is even higher profile in many ways because it's effectively hitting near our population centers, the Western Front Range. Last time Lodgepole, this time Ponderosa, also areas. They'll show you the map at Southwest Colorado, some other areas as well. And that's why we wanted to really set up this group to understand all the implications. There's major implications in terms of fire risk, in terms of flooding and erosion, in terms of, in some areas, risk of avalanche. Obviously, policies around reforestation. And of course, information to people about what they can do to protect their trees. Thank you, Dan Gibbs, Matt McCombs, Mike Morgan, for your work on this. And this outbreak is again different because it's going to be a lot more visible to every Coloradan, and a lot more high valued assets from a fire perspective are really right in this frontier. So given that reality, we want to come together, and I'm really glad. Thank you, Dan, and everybody for assembling this group sooner rather than later. Leaders across the built environment, water, public safety, energy. We want to really plan for this contingency. I think for some of you, we'll be sharing some of the forecasts that we've seen. Others have been privy to that. And this group is really here to try to look at all the tools we have to blunt the impact on our communities, our homeowners, and our watersheds. We don't want to sit idly by, and really using a data-driven approach that's driven by our experience, working together, learning lessons from the past, and doing what we have the ability to do to better protect the Colorado that we love. So I know we have the right team here. I want to thank all of you for being on this call and helping to lead it management in the Colorado way, working together and innovating and protecting the landscapes of communities that make our great state special. There's federal landowners, county landowners, state landowners, private landowners, all across this area. And there are profound impacts to each and many that affect everybody. So thank you to this group and really wish you well in your very important deliberations.
Great. Thanks so much, Governor, for joining us. Really appreciate that and really putting the concerns you heard into action. And you all are representatives of that action moving forward as we discuss short, medium, and long-term approaches on the forest health challenges that we have before us. So next, Governor, feel free to join or leave if you need to. But next, I want to introduce our facilitation team. Really excited to have John Sanderson and Ray Gonzalez from the Center for Collaborative Conservation join us and help be facilitators for all of our meetings. So let me turn it over maybe to start with John, and you can help introduce your team.
Yeah, fantastic, Director Gibbs. I want to thank the governor for getting us started with that executive order back in December. My thanks also to Directors Gibbs, Morgan, and McCombs and their amazing staff who I've had the pleasure to work with over the last couple of months. And I especially want to welcome and thank all of you, the task force members. Just a short bit ago this morning, I was talking with Allison Lurch about the depth of skill and knowledge among all of you on this task force, combined with an equal amount of care for our great state. And I'm just super excited about working with all of you. So as Director Gibbs said, I'm John Sanderson. I'll be the lead facilitator for the task force. I've been doing conservation work in Colorado for over 3 decades, including with several of you. I was trained as an ecologist, but over time, I wanted to dedicate my time to focusing on people and communities. So for 6 years now, I've been serving as the director of the Center for Collaborative Conservation. The CCC is part of the Warner College of Natural Resources at Colorado State University. I'm sitting in Fort Collins right now. And we advance conservation by teaching principles and skills of collaboration, connecting communities of practice, and engaging in applied conservation. We're honored to be part of this effort. Our intention is to facilitate an engaging and productive process that supports all of you in achieving the important work just described by the directors. I will stop there and pass it over to my co-facilitator, Ray, to introduce herself. Ray?
Hello, everyone. Thanks for coming all together to officially launch this task force. I'm Dr. Marie Gonzalez, but as folks said, I go by Ray, a little bit easier, not quite a mouthful. I'm senior facilitator with the Center for Collaborative Conservation, and I'm founder and director of Catalyst for Conservation Consulting as well. And so I've been facilitating diverse processes across various natural resource management issues. And I'm very honored to be a part of this important work and to be trusted to support all of you as we sort of move forward in building these recommendations. So thanks so much for having us.
Okay, awesome. Again, thanks so much, John and Ray, for helping to facilitate this. Now we want to hear from you all a little bit about your background for the folks that are within the executive order, especially. I know we have some ex officio members as well. If you know you're an ex officio member, please put your information in the chat too, like who you are and what organization you represent. But first, want to start with the folks that were actually listed in the executive order. And we have Chief Brad White, who represents fire prevention and emergency response field, such as the Colorado State Fire Chief. So Chief White, let me just turn it over to you to introduce yourself to everyone.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. Good to get everybody's same place here. So Brad White, I'm the fire chief at Grand Fire Protection District up in Grand County, based out of Granby here. And we're really ground zero for the lodgepole pine beetle epidemic that hit here, starting 2004 or so. And so I think, I can bring to the table a lot of experience on, certainly public safety wise and a little bit too what to expect from the community and their questions and how that's going to work as we move forward for the next 20 years on the Front Range. We're certainly kind of still experiencing the after effects now. Our forest is starting to look normal, but still a lot of dead woody debris out there that holds a lot of heat, as evidenced by the East Troublesome fire here a few years back. So also, currently the chair with Colorado State Fire Chiefs, and as Fire Chiefs World goes, I will try to make as many meetings as possible. It might be the occasion where I, have a last minute conflict, but we've also assigned Paul Cada with our wildland section of state chiefs to kind of monitor and jump in if I need to step back. So appreciate everybody being here.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Chief White, for your participation. Next, we have Commissioner Dan Williams, who represents affected local governments and local government assets such as parks and open space. Commissioner Williams, let me give you the microphone now.
Hey, good morning, sir. I appreciate it. It's just an honor to be here with this group. I also represent CCI on public lands and got in about 11 o'clock last night from NACO in Washington, D.C. And this challenge is being talked about all across America, as you know. So hopefully we'll use some of those best practices. And as we look at a kind of a pretty bad drought condition right now, I look forward to working with everybody. But again, thanks for the opportunity and thank you, Governor, as well.
Great. Thank you so much, Commissioner. Glad you made it back safely. Okay, next we have Doug Vilsack, who represents federal agencies. Doug is not able to join us right now, but I know that he'll be planning on attending future meetings. So thank you, Doug. Next, we have Fletcher Johnson, who represents electric, water, and other utility providers, such as servicing the Front Range. So, Fletcher, you want to introduce yourself?
Certainly. I am not Fletcher. Fletcher is actually out of the office currently, and I am supposed to be stepping into this role in his place moving forward. My name is Sebastian Walton. I'm the Wildfire Program Manager for the Vegetation Department at Xcel Energy. Just recently started this position. It's new territory for me. I came out here from California just a couple of months ago. My background is in wildfire prevention, entomology, and I got my degree in ecology and evolutionary biology. So excited to be here, excited to see what this can turn into.
Great. Thanks, Sebastian, for joining us. Really appreciate that. Next, we have Commissioner Jody Shattuck McNally, who represents affected local governments and local government assets such as parks and open space. Jody?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. Welcome, everybody, and thank you for this opportunity, and thank you to the governor. I'm really grateful to be on this task force and to be among such great and wonderful, hardworking folks who care about this matter. I, too, just came back from D.C., as Commissioner Williams did. We were there in a lot of meetings together. I sit on the National Environment, Energy, and Land Use Steering Committee, and this is also something we talk about at length, and we had a lot of conversations with our colleagues from other Western states, and I talk with a lot of folks who have been impacted by massive wildfires, including the North Rim of the Grand Canyon, Lahana Fire, and a lot of us sit and talk about shared things. And what's interesting is they all can't believe we don't have snow. And then I tell about the mountain pine beetle, and they're just stunned at how this is all kind of layering on top. I also sit on the Colorado Forest Health Council. The Forest Health Council was reformed and organized from Senate Bill 21-237, and I chair that legislative committee, and I'm really proud to be a member of that and love that work. And behind me is a picture of the area before the Alexander Mountain Fire, which is one of our open spaces in the highway up to the Big Thompson. As you know, we had the Cameron Peak fire, the East Troublesome jumped over and through Rocky, and we had to evacuate Estes Park. I'm born and raised in this area, and so I have a little bit of experience, lived experience with what this looks like for wildfire, and I look forward to the work we're going to do together. Thanks.
Great. Thanks so much, Commissioner. Next, we have Joe Lavarini, who represents non-governmental sector with expertise in ecosystems, conservation, and wildlife associated with affected areas. So, Joe.
Yes, thank you. Thanks to the chairs for this opportunity to represent the nonprofit sector on the task force. My name is Joe Labrini. I am the Rocky Mountain Director at the National Forest Foundation. And so the NFF is a congressionally chartered nonprofit of the U.S. Forest Service. We work in close collaboration with the Forest Service on our three strategic pillar areas: recreation, land and water restoration, and wildfire resilience. And I lead our team working across Colorado and the Rocky Mountains. At NFF, we have proven experience in working on the mountain pine beetle mitigation in Taylor Canyon rather, on the Gunnison National Forest, working cross-boundary, private landowners with the U.S. Forest Service, working at scale and incorporating beetle sanitation, insect sanitation with commercial timber and fuels reduction. So I look forward to bringing this experience to the forest management work NFF is doing on the Front Range in partnership with the Arapahoe and Roosevelt, the Pike, San Isabel, the State Forest Service, and community partners up and down the Front Range.
Awesome. Thanks for joining us, Joe. Next, we have Commissioner Leslie Dahlkemper, who represents the Colorado Fire Commission.
Great. Thanks so much, Director Gibbs. It's good to see a number of friends and to meet some new friends working together on this task force. It's a real honor to be here with you today and excited about our bold work moving forward, as Director Morgan mentioned. I am in my 8th year of serving as a Jefferson County Commissioner. I chair the Jeffco Wildfire Commission, as Director Gibbs mentioned. I've also served and currently serve on the Colorado Fire Commission. Many of you know Jefferson County is one of the hardest hit areas by the pine beetle, and we have an active, engaged, educated community who is eager to work together on resolving this issue, how we tackle and engage our community around this outbreak. And really grateful to be part of this. A huge thanks to the governor, too, for pulling together this task force. Look forward to working with you all.
Great. Thanks so much, Commissioner. Really appreciate your participation. Next, we have Representative Leslie Smith, who represents the Colorado General Assembly from affected areas. Do we have Representative Smith? I know Senator Baisley is with us, but I know sometimes mornings at the Capitol are particularly challenging because they may be voting. Okay, I don't see her right now, but we appreciate her future involvement in this. Next, we have Madeline McDonald, who represents the Forest Health Council. Madeline?
Yeah, thank you, Director Gibbs. Good morning, everyone. Again, my name is Madeline McDonald. I'm a watershed scientist at Denver Water, where I manage our forest and our wildfire programs. I'm also fortunate to serve on the Colorado Forest Health Council, representing Front Range water providers there. At Denver Water, we know healthy forests equals healthy watersheds. We've spent years building resilience to all types of disturbances in our forested watersheds because we know it has a direct impact on our water supply. I'd also just mention I've been fortunate enough to participate in a few different efforts with the Colorado Forest Health Council to do collective visioning, recently releasing our 30-year strategy and vision, and have so much belief in collective visioning processes. Same way that we are moving away from random acts of restoration on the landscape, we want to move away from random, policy recommendations, have a more comprehensive, cohesive strategy at the policy arena to address the crisis that is in front of us today. So very much appreciate the opportunity to serve and looking forward to working with you all.
Great. Thanks, Madeline. Also, thank you for your past service in the National Wildfire Commission, too. Okay, next we have Senator Mark Baisley, who represents the Colorado General Assembly from affected areas. Senator Baisley, you may be in a committee. I see that you're online, but the floor is yours if you can say anything. There we go.
Yeah, sure. Sorry, I am doing double duty right now. So anyway, honored to be on the committee and see some great friends, a couple of commissioner friends. See y'all. Anyway, just honored to do this. Obviously, this is a very important matter for the health of our forests, for tourism even, but also just the wildfires that serve on the wildfire committee, just trying to anticipate that. And so anyway. Count me in. I'll do everything I can to try to help the cause. But I'm just honored to serve with what an incredible group. Just looking around, seeing all of you. Thank you for what you're doing. Appreciate it.
Great. Thank you, Senator Beasley. We know how busy you are, especially in the legislative session. So we really appreciate as much time as you can give to this as possible. Thank
You
you.
bet.
Next, we have Megan Maxwell, who represents key private sector entities, including housing, timber, recreation, tourism, and transportation. And Megan, the floor is yours if you will join today. Okay, is Megan not here? Okay, we'll come back to you if you can come back. Next, we have Mike Alexander, who represents other entities within necessary expertise or expertise with mountain pine beetle, forest resiliency, wildfire, and community safety and preparedness. Mike?
Thank you, Director Gibbs. I appreciate it. It's an honor to serve with such esteemed collaboration of folks here on this panel. I'm the Director of Emergency Management for Douglas County. Very strong relationships and working with my peers across the Front Range in heavily impacted areas from this epidemic. My background is both in emergency management and wildland fire management. I've been here with the Douglas County for about 12 years. Prior to that, 15 years with the U.S. Forest Service, mostly on a hotshot crew and working with federal incident management teams, where I've had both the fortune and misfortune to work on many fires, wildland fires, that involve beetle-killed trees and have quite a bit of experience there. Formal education in forestry and finished up with a master's degree in fire science from the Colorado State University. So I'm super excited to be a part of this panel and look at ways that we can help improve not only forest management, but integrated fire management across Colorado and especially the Front Range. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Mike. Appreciate your involvement. Next up, we have Paige Lewis, who represents the non-governmental sector with expertise in ecosystems, conservation, and wildlife associated with affected areas. Paige?
Great. Thanks, Director Gibbs, and good morning, everyone. I too am really grateful to be able to be part of this collaboration on an important issue. I'm the Deputy State Director and Director of Conservation Programs for the Nature Conservancy here in Colorado. The Nature Conservancy has had a focus since the early 2000s on forest and fire restoration with a real emphasis on the Front Range. So this is definitely an area of focus and concern for us. A lot of my background, I've been working in the forest and fire field for many years. I spent time working at the national, regional, and state level, including several years with the Colorado State Forest Service before coming to the Nature Conservancy, and have been here for several years, both with a focus initially on forest and fire programs and now on a broader multifaceted conservation portfolio. I too am a member of the Forest Health Council, and I'm really excited to think with all of you both about how we can protect communities and infrastructure in the near term, and also, as Director McCombs articulated, think about what does resilience for the future of these forests mean in a really changing environment. So thanks, and look forward to talking with all of you.
Awesome. Thanks, Paige. Next up, we have Tom Goujon, who represents the philanthropic sector, working on issues related to forest health, wildfire preparedness, and community resilience. So, Tom.
Thanks, Director Gibbs. Hi, everybody. Tom Goujon. I work for the Gates Family Foundation. We're a private foundation that works statewide here in Colorado. Part of our natural resources work includes a focus on forest health and watershed health. That area has been increasingly important in recent years. we've been very interested in the role that a more robust forest economy could play in all of this, and so I've been working on ideas like mass timber and other aspects of that. And also, we have a lot of history in community planning and resilience across the Front Range and really statewide. Also trying to draw on what I learned from 10 years with Paige and other folks at the Nature Conservancy when I served on the board there, and 13 years on the Denver Water Board when we launched the partnership with the U.S. Forest Service to try and improve forest health and reduce wildfire risk around Denver water facilities and infrastructure. So look forward to trying to contribute what I can.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Tom. Really appreciate your involvement too. Next up, we have Troy Highactor, who represents federal agencies and is in charge of Region 2 for the U.S. Forest Service and other regions too right now, I think.
We can't hear you, Troy.
All right, last try here. Got anything?
Got you.
Oh man, that was tough. Like three different buttons I had to click. It's pushing my IT skills. Good morning, everybody. Good to see so many familiar faces. Great group of folks that we got together here. I'm working out of Carbondale today. I had a chance to meet with Aspen Ski Company yesterday and look at some of the stuff that's going on around here. But yeah, as Dan said, thanks Dan for the introduction. I'm currently the permanent regional forester in the Rocky Mountain region, the acting regional forester in the northern region, and the senior executive over the National Lands, Minerals, and Geology portfolio for the USDA Forest Service. Just for a little context, the forest side of that alone is 29 national forests, 11 grasslands, 47 million acres across 8 western states, and I'm representing about 5,000 employees in the USDA Forest Service right now. So a little shift in my duties. We're all taking on additional duties in this environment, but we work super close with the state, have a great relationship already, both through my team with the state forester's office, as well as Dan's team, and then with our forest health folks on both sides of that. And we're really here to support this and look at ways that we can contribute in one way or another, recognizing jurisdictional boundaries that don't exist in the minds of our trees or the insects that affect those trees, and then the all hands risk approach that we take to this. So working together, I think, is key for us to get all this stuff moving. There's some great stuff going on, and I'm pretty excited about some of the stuff that I'm hearing and some opportunities that are going to present themselves for us here across the next coming months and longer. So again, thanks for letting me join this group and helping out here, and I look forward to working with you all.
Thanks so much, Troy. Really appreciate your involvement and especially knowing that you cover pretty much half of America now, a big territory. Okay, next up is Will Lapre, who represents key private sector entities, including housing, timber, recreation, tourism, and transportation. So, Will?
Thanks, Director Gibbs. It's great to be here. I'm Will. I'm the director of the Colorado Mass Timber Coalition, and we're building Colorado's mass timber economy. For those of you that don't know, mass timber refers to a family of engineered wood products that can replace concrete and steel in any type of building. We're trying to promote more mass timber building in general, but a special focus on using local resources and local timber. So happy to be part of this group and looking forward to working with all of you.
Awesome. Thanks, Will. Okay, next is Zach Thode, who represents agriculture, rangeland management, and other lands affected by the outbreak. Zach?
Yeah, Zach's out here. Ranch and farm up in northern Laramie County, in the Laramie foothills, which is on the edge of Ponderosa Forest. I'm also the chair of the Laramie Conservation District, and we do private land forestry projects on several hundred acres every year to the tune of several $1 million every year, trying to improve forest health in Laramie County and reduce fire risk in our areas. And so I am nominated by the ag community to be here today.
Awesome. Thanks, Zach. Really appreciate that. I also want to recognize Southern Ute Tribe Chairman, Chairman Melvin Baker, who's ex officio member, but want to turn the microphone over to Chairman Baker for him to introduce himself to everyone too.
Good morning, Mr. Gibbs. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, good morning, everyone. It's pretty exciting to be part of this task force. My background is I am a former firefighter. I served 10 years in Northern California. I went to the Joint Apprenticeship of California, was Halifax certified, did a lot of things and there in California fighting fire from the ground up. My concern right now, and I know the governor failed to mention when he mentioned all the lands, but tribal lands. As the chairman of the Southern Indian Tribe, we do border a lot of Forest Service lands. And I was a Forest Service employee until I decided to moved back to Colorado after about 10 years. It wasn't a job, it was more like it's time to leave California. But I kind of regret that because when I did leave, I was scheduled to go to the Reading Hot Shots and a lot of other stuff. And but I did come home to the Sun Ute Tribe, and I did have a 18-man crew, a conservation crew, in which we did tree planting in the greenhouses. We did reforestation. Did control burning, pile burning. I mean, all of that. I've worked in silviculture with the Forest Service. I worked in brush disposal. I mean, just everything you can imagine, fighting fire. And, it's kind of one of my passions. I've got 8 months, a little, maybe 8 months left on my term as a chairman for the Southern Ute Tribe. When I'm done, I'll have 9 years in regular council and 6 years as the chairman of the Southern Ute Indian Tribe. But again, fire's been a passion for me. I think of everything. I look at the fuel reductions. I want to really see how we can work together. Like I said, after 8 months, I'm not sure what I'm going to do, where I'm going to go, what I'm going to do. So, but again, I'm always looking when I see people burn out there, their weeds in the mountains and wonder all these things. But again, that's just my passion. That's my background is wildland firefighter. And like I said, working in greenhouses, planting from seedlings to reforestation. I was I was the inspector on a lot of tree plantations, thinning plantations, just everything to do with Forest Service work up in Northern California. So again, it's kind of exciting to be here, and I hope we can all, be prepared for this upcoming season. We don't know what that's going to bring, and we never do. But nice to meet everyone, and thank you for being a part of this task force, allowing me to be a part of this task force. Thank you,
Yeah,
Dan.
thanks, Chairman Baker. And I honestly think that you're one of the busiest people I know, so I'm just really grateful for your willingness to participate. And I want to thank each and every one of you, the ex officio members. Hopefully, you're able to put within the chat your name and who you represent. Really grateful for those members as well, and looking forward to your expertise and your willingness to serve. Now, this particular commission is part of the umbrella of the DNR. And so we want to make sure that everyone's on the same page in terms of what it means to serve on this particular board and commission. So we're excited to have Aaron Ray, the DNR's policy director, join us today to go over kind of our basic policy handbook for boards and commissions. So
Thank you, Dan.
Yeah,
And
great.
thank you, everyone, for joining us, and thank you for serving on this task force. As Dan mentioned, DNR has a number of boards and commissions, and we have guidance for those boards and commissions. When we have groups like this task force or work groups, we ask that those members generally comply with our expectations for our other boards and commissions. And so I want to share with you some of those expectations as well as some resources to support you all. I'll also note that Allison Lurch sent you our boards and commissions handbook, which includes the information that I'll present today. So if you have any questions about this information, feel free to reach out to any of us or refer to that handbook, which you should have in your email. Next slide, please. So the topics that I want to cover today include just a bit about the Department of Natural Resources. We'll talk about expectations around ethics, accessibility, our anti-harassment policy, some resources related to media contacts and legislative matters, our expectations around open meetings and open records, opportunities for public comment, and then just some brief information about the charge to the task force from the executive order. Next slide, please. So DNR is focused on managing and conserving Colorado's natural resources for the benefit of people today and tomorrow. DNR has 8 divisions that manage water, land, wildlife, minerals, energy resources, and outdoor recreation. In fiscal year 2026, the department had a total annual budget of a bit more than $500 million, 1,800 FTE, about 1,000 temporary employees, and more than 4,000 volunteers. So it's a big team. Executive Director Gibbs likes to call it the DNR family, and we really do treat it that way. And we are appreciative that you are contributing to our mission by serving on this task force. Next slide. In the DNR family, we hold ourselves to Colorado's Code of Ethics and statutory requirements. And we have a DNR Code of Ethics that promotes ethical standards, transparency, accountability, and excellence in achieving our mission. And we ask that all of our board and commission members, as well as members of groups like this one, strive to meet and exceed the 8 tenets of our Code of Ethics, which are on the next slide. Our public service Code of Ethics focuses on advancing the public interest, upholding the Constitution and the law, promoting public participation in partnerships, strengthening equity, diversity, and inclusion, empowering adaptive leadership, demonstrating personal integrity, promoting ethical actions, and advancing professional excellence. And as I said, we tried to hold ourselves to these, and we ask that folks that serve on our bodies also uphold these ethics. Next slide, please. We also are focused on ensuring accessibility. That includes supporting a welcoming, inclusive, and accessible workplace and environment for visitors to our facilities, as well as to all Coloradans that might access our services. If members of the public who are watching this meeting or participating in task force events, and certainly if any of you wish to request accommodations, please do contact DNR's Americans with Disabilities Act coordinators. There's an email on the screen here, accessdnr@state.co.us. If anyone needs any accommodations at all, whether they're members of the public or members of the task force, we can help you with that. Also note that in all of the materials that we put together for the task force, we will also be focused on ensuring that those are accessible. Next slide, please. We also have a discrimination, harassment, sexual harassment, and retaliation policy that applies to all DNR employees, board and commission members, and anyone conducting state business at a state-sponsored event. So that would include members of the task force. That policy, which is linked here, outlines complaint, reporting, and investigation procedures. And if you have questions about the policy or would like more information, please contact DNR's Human Resources Director, Richard Fields. His email is on the slide here. And if you ever need any of these contact emails again in the future, feel free to reach out to any one of the DNR staff and we can get those to you. Next slide, please. I want to say a few things about the media and the legislature. You could be contacted by members of the media interested in your service on this task force. To ensure transparency, accuracy, and accountability, we ask that members of the task force remember that commenting on the official actions or operations or business of the department requires coordination with our staff liaisons and our public information officers. So if you get any outreach from members of the media asking for comment in your official capacity as a member of the task force, we ask that you contact Chris Arndt, our communications director, or any one of the DNR staff, and we can connect you with Chris. You are, of course, always welcome to comment on anything in your personal capacity or in your independent professional capacity, but we ask that you refrain from speaking on behalf of the task force without coordinating with DNR. Next slide, please. Similarly, you may be contacted by members of the legislature interested in the task force's work. Our Director of Legislative Affairs, Daphne Gervais, coordinates all communication with legislators related to the department. And we would ask that if you are contacted by a legislator, please refer them to Daphne and consult with your staff liaison. As you know, the General Assembly is in session now. And they will be interested in the work of this task force. You're required to submit updates to them. The contact for Daphne is here on the slide. And similarly with members of the media, You are always free to participate in any legislative activity in your personal capacity or in your other professional capacity, but we ask that you refrain from speaking on behalf of the task force with regard to legislative matters without coordinating with DNR. As a reminder, as a department within the executive branch, the department does not take positions on bills unless approved to do so by the governor. Our Director of Legislative Affairs coordinates that process, and if there are legislative initiatives associated with this task force, the department will go through that process before taking a position on any of those bills. Again, you're free to take positions on bills individually, but we ask that you not do so as a member of the task force. Next slide, please. As we are entering election season, the Fair Campaign Practices Act restricts the use of public monies to urge votes for or against any statewide or local ballot initiative or referred measure. And public monies in this case includes staff, work time, and state resources. So as a department, we are prohibited from engaging in that activity. Again, as you've heard me say before, you are always free to express your personal opinions and use your personal resources to engage in election activities. But we again ask that you do not do so as a representative of the task force. Next slide. Looking ahead to the meetings that are in front of us, DNR will establish a schedule for task force meetings in consultation with our facilitation team and the task force co-chairs, and we look forward to having your participation in those upcoming meetings. We do plan to operate these meetings in accordance with Colorado Open Meetings Law, and that requires that all of the task force meetings be publicly noticed, open to the public. We plan to record them and post them to the DNR website for those that aren't able to join in real time. Next slide, please. As a reminder about the open meetings law, that applies to state public bodies, which is defined as 2 or more task force members discussing public business. So if 2 of you as task force members are talking about the task force itself, task force business, that constitutes an open meeting and needs to be noticed and open to the public. Public business in this case involves anything that has a demonstrated link between the meeting and the policymaking powers of this public body. And that includes emails or phone calls, text messages between 2 or more task force members. A good rule of thumb is don't discuss the task force with other task force members outside of an open public meeting. Obviously, you can discuss task force business with non-task force members. That's certainly fine. But we ask that you do so with other task force members. That's to protect you from the impression that task force business is being held not in an open public meeting. It's important to note that the project manager for this work, Allison Lurch, and our facilitation staff do not qualify as task force members, and so you can talk to them about task force business at any time. If you have questions about how open meetings law applies to this group, feel free to contact Allison and she can get you more information. Next slide, please. Similarly, in Colorado, the Colorado Open Records Act ensures that public records are open for inspection by the public. Public records include all writings that associate with the work of this public body. That includes paper or electronic materials, personal emails, or phone or text if public business is discussed. And so as with open meetings, I encourage you to refrain from creating these records outside of our shared documents and open meetings. If you get a CORA request, please contact Allison Lurch and we can help coordinate responsiveness to that CORA request. Next slide, please. We are excited to ensure that this task force has the benefit of public comment from members of the public. We will offer oral public comment at future task force meetings. We do note that oral public comment will be limited to 3 minutes and must pertain to items on the agenda. We encourage people to sign up to make an oral public comment at a future task force meeting if they're interested in doing so through the task force webpage. I'll also note that if individuals are not able to join a meeting to make public comment, written public comment can be submitted at any time on the task force webpage. We do look forward to receiving those public comments and will ensure that task force members have access to those public comments so you can consider them as you're doing the work of the task force. Next slide. I'll just take a few moments to talk about the purpose of this group, although you'll hear much more from the co-chairs and Allison and our facilitators about the work that you'll be doing. As a reminder, this task force was created by the governor by Executive Order B 2025-001 in response to the expanding mountain pine beetle outbreak affecting ponderosa pine forests. The task force is charged with developing coordinated science-based strategies to protect Colorado's forests, communities, and critical infrastructure. And more information about the executive order, the work of the task force, will be available on the website. You can see the address here. You can find it on DNR's homepage. And I encourage folks who are interested in following along of the work of the task force to bookmark that site. We'll post meeting materials. We'll post information about upcoming meetings. There are links there for people to join meetings and, as I mentioned, submit public comment. So that's a great resource for anyone interested in the work of the task force. Next slide, please. The executive order that created the task force also defines its scope and charges you with a number of things. I'm not going to go through all these in detail. You'll hear much more about this in your upcoming meetings. But for folks that aren't aware, there is some specific direction from the governor for this group, and this direction will define the tasks that we ask you to work on over the coming months. So I encourage folks to familiarize yourself with the direction to the task force from the executive order. Next slide. There are some upcoming key dates and deadlines for you to be aware of. The executive order requires that this group develop a comprehensive work plan no later than June 30th of 2026. And so the state team and the facilitators will be working together to help you develop that work plan. The executive order also requires that beginning no later than December 1st, 2026, the task force will provide annual updates to the governor, to the Colorado Fire Commission, the Forest Health Council, the General Assembly, and other relevant bodies. The state team and the facilitators will help you meet that update requirement. The task force is also required to produce an annual report describing the task force's activities and needs and opportunities associated with your work. So again, the state team will help you with that annual report, but these requirements will define your work in the upcoming months. If you have questions about any of this work, I encourage you to reach out to DNR's Assistant Director, Allison Wirch. She'll be your primary staff contact and will be helping to coordinate the work of the facilitation team in this task force. And she's a tremendous resource for you. If you have any questions at all, please do go directly to Allison. Next slide. And with that, I just want to thank you on behalf of Executive Director Gibbs for your service on the task force, and we look forward to working together with you over the coming months. And I'll hand it back to Dan.
Great. Thanks so much, Aaron. I appreciate you going over all that material. And yeah, again, if anyone has any questions, feel free to reach out to any of us on that. Next, I want to turn it back over to John Sanderson to kind of walk through our next meeting that we're planning on having in person. And John will be able to share some of those details with you.
Thank you, Director Gibbs. So our first meeting will take place on April 1st, and it will be in person and a full day meeting. And we encourage you to join us in person if at all possible, because we want to create an environment right off the bat where we can connect among ourselves to do this challenging work. We will meet in the Denver area. We're kind of imagining so far on the west side. Those details are still to be determined. The agenda is not yet final as well, but we do anticipate spending the morning inside discussing purpose, goals, structure, and process of the task force, with an eye especially towards that June 30 deadline for a comprehensive work plan. And then we are planning to spend the afternoon in the field, seeing and discussing the challenges that you all will be focused on. Forest health and management, community safety and resilience, wildfire response, and all the many related items that many of you are familiar with and are described in that executive order. Between now and April, Ray and I will ask each of you for 45 minutes of your time to connect with us to get your perspectives on the task force. So we'll be in touch about that real soon to get you scheduled and let you know what we want to talk about. And we also want to hear from you. Prior to the meeting, we will send a detailed agenda with some materials that we will ask you to read in advance so that you can fully engage at that meeting. Those materials will include a draft charter that will include the usual items you would expect, like rules of engagement, decision-making, and communication guidelines, and more. And there will be other things as well that we'll ask you to take a look at before the meeting. And that's all I've got, but please feel free to reach out to me or Ray anytime. john.sanderson@colostate.edu. We'll share that information, and I really appreciate your time this morning.
Awesome. Thanks so much, John. And again, thank you so much for your involvement. Thank you for showing up for Colorado, our communities, our watersheds, our forests. Just so grateful that you've committed to participate in this. As John mentioned, we'll get more information about that meeting on April 1st. Please put that on your calendar and really look forward to working with you all as we navigate short, medium, and long-term solutions and approaches to what we have in front of us. Any questions before we adjourn? We're, I don't know, 2 minutes early, which is great. We just wanted to have this quick kind of kickoff meeting to kind of go over some of the nuts and bolts of the commission and also get some of the board training stuff out of the way so we don't waste time doing that when we're in person. So with that, thanks again, everyone. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. Thanks. Bye-bye.